Well, what's going on, fellow people on the internet land? Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. Time index right now is 2:08 in the morning. The Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. Yeah, the guy who does the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Yeah, well, I woke up this morning dealing with my dog anyway, so this is another dark log concerning about that situation. Don't like dealing with her early in the morning because it screws around with my sleep. So why am I doing this? I'm sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up. I've been going over articles that I come across from time to time. Articles on a bigger broad than what I've seen other people on YouTube try to cover left and right. And the thing is, everything else is getting so screwed up and jam-packed right now. It's not even funny trying to get a clear head here. We have government systems that are trying to fund scientific examinations of our world and its global deterioration. We're killing it. Of course, we can't even convince ourselves individually, let alone collectively, about it without having a conniption fit. We have people who don't want to because they're so tied up with larger corporate investments, energy productions. They want their dividends. They want their money. In order to have money, you got to have resources. In order to have resources, you have to tear apart the planet to get the resources necessary, which means you have to do more and more environmental studies, whether or not you're actually going to get any money out of the damn planet in the first place. And since we are so interdependent on the environment left and right, it's not even funny. We screw up the environment, we screw up our life support. That's basically how it is. We're screwing up our life support right now as it is. I mean, we want more and more and more, and it's getting less and less and less. So supply and demand kicks in, business 101. The less you have, the more you can charge up a rate. And therefore, you're going to have to find whatever it is that you can belly up to the bar to pay that rate. And the more you can find the resources, maybe you can stabilize the prices. If we're willing to pay the price, that is. We go through every corner of the planet looking for irreplaceable, whatever the hell it is. I'll deal with the irreplaceable resources. We can't get them regenerated fast enough. We can't find enough of it. And we're depending on more and more of it. We're killing a life support system. Case in point, Antarctica. For years, I've been checking on it from time to time. Certain places do capture my fascination. An ice ball? Yeah, it does. Well, I haven't checked on the Arctic region and why the Antarctic, because it's not just there. It's a life support mechanism for the entire planet. Reasons why we actually had our Arctic systems that we worry so much about is because they're our cooling centers. We mess around with them, our weather, meteorological, and life support goes hell in a handbasket on this global planet we live on. We're struggling for survival. We've made so many movies, media projects left and right about how we're going to be surviving the next cataclysm. We're already seeing it in front of our face, and yet we're too damn blind to know about it. So we blithely live on our lives, short-lived as it is, and say screw our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren, every other future generation we have. Let them deal with it because we're dealing too much of it and we're going to party hardy until we die. And that's about it. Meanwhile, funding to keep buildings alive, keep buildings operational that we've used for decades, different construction mechanisms to deal with a deteriorating hostile environment, or actually is it an increasing hostile environment? They can't decide which one is which for the Antarctic ice cube, because that's melting. Not just on the outside. Because we're already seeing so many ice cubes coming out of it. Icebergs, shall I say. Global warming happens. You look at the top, but you don't look underneath. People don't have it. They don't have the perspective and don't have the intelligence to do so. And when they do, when they start developing the technologies to look at things, it scares the fuck out of them. Good. Science should not scare you into everything else, but fascinate your ass to see how, where, why, and all the other things we're talking about. We're looking at our planet's life support. We're looking at the heartbeat. Brain's a different story altogether, but we're looking at the heartbeat of the world. Circulation in the oceans. Certain currents that are flowing through that affect temperature rises and falls, and not to mention rapid deterioration of our refrigeration unit. We can't manufacture enough Freon in our commercial area. Or we're talking about the world's version of Freon underneath. What I've been learning about the ice sheets and about the ice in the Antarctic scares the fuck out of me. The more we deal with freezing on the ice, they're saying the more salt goes into the earth. And when the ice starts melting, it's releasing fresh water into an already salty environment. Screws up the temperature, screws up the currents underneath the Antarctic, but also screws up the currents in the ocean itself. The more fresh water we introduce into the salty saline, we're screwing around temperature, we're screwing around saline, we're screwing around with regulation of our environment, our weather conditions. And the weather conditions do affect everybody. This world is one living organism in a sense. It has multiple organisms that depend upon a precious balance that we've already screwed that up a long time ago. We're reaping what we're sowing right now. There's micro pieces of plastic we're ingesting through food. I'm not talking about just on the land, I'm talking about in the waters as well. It's like some scientists are actually finding microplastics in our brains. Why? Because we did this to ourselves, our own damn pollution left and right. Where our hunt for oil and gas and energy producing materials, we're also putting the byproducts into the air, which we're still sucking down in our lungs. We're drinking it up in the water. We're eating it off the land. We're killing ourselves for money and profit. And you think I may be losing my brains? Well, maybe I've lost them a long time ago. I'm seeing many independents out there talking about nearly the same damn language. We're killing ourselves, slowly but surely. While I can listen to the political blathering and finger pointing about this one, and science is wrong, and this is right, and we must make more profit for everybody else. Fine, we'll live in the delusion at this point over here while we're trying to kill ourselves at the same damn time. We want clean air, we got to work on the damn shit, but we can't do it because we want more money. We need more materials. We need more junk that we can put up into the junk piles. We need more minerals to be put into our cell phones to be used, or our computer systems. We have to yell and scream at each other because there's not enough clean water or clean land to deal with, so we argue and fight over the damn thing. Well, you think we got writers over the damn decades talking about this shit in the first place? When they started getting environmental and they started figuring out what the hell was going on, they were warning us and alerting us like crazy, but did we listen? Fuck no. Nope. We want the entertainment value. We're going to sit in a movie theater. We're going to be consuming minerals and products and everything else. Why? Because that's how we are. We're not going to listen to anybody. Why should we? We're human beings. We think we know better. We got the higher brain capacity, right? Ha! We got the higher brain capacity. How come we couldn't figure out marine language? Dolphins got a complex language, so does the whales. We talked about it for decades, but we've hunted them out for food and fuel until we damn near got them extinct. They sound like I'm an environmentalist. You got to see the environment I'm surviving in right now. I got roaches and I got spiders and different bugs in this damn place. Yeah, my environment sucks. And it's the deterioration of this one particular kid here we're looking at. And I'm running at the deterioration of the rest of my planet. Dealing with gas bags, don't know their ass from a hot rock, and even though when they get educated, they still don't know their ass from a hot rock. So they finger point at everybody. Blame, want a war over resources, want a war over egos. Want to send your forces using up fossil fuels and other kind of fuels to get your mechanized horror to another country to terrorize the crap on them because you got an ego to feed. You screw around with science funding down until it's a mere trickle or it's nothing. And then what do we learn in the process? Well, science was all bullshit anyway, and we think we know better, so we want more money. Sometimes I get sick and tired of it all, you know. It's bad enough I hear one guy belly aching about another guy who's belly aching about liberals and Democrats and this shit and that shit. Finger point like crazy. I'm like, is there anything else you got to say? Is there anything else important you got to say to the rest of the world, or are you just going to be talking out of your ass again? Nice if you can produce work that people will like to admire for a short time, as long as they're living here, and maybe alive enough, with some senses enough to detect the work. But after that, then what? Then what? Go around on the internet looking for other things to get yourself in trouble with. But then again, that's what we want to do, is get our world in trouble. So we have something to talk about on the internet. How about that one? So this is my ranting and raving for this morning, boys and girls. I hope you not enjoyed it, shit. If this stuff lives on until eternity, then maybe it's a lasting notations concerning about this planet Earth of ours that we call it, or planet junk pile anyway. If you want to see about an artistic impression of junk pile, you ought to watch Thor Ragnarok. You talk about the junk of the Earth, or junk of everything else piling up on a planet. Lack of food, lack of resources, but hell, they want a fucking game. They want to be fucking entertained. If that isn't a metaphor for our own damn planet right now, I don't know what the fuck it is. Meanwhile, we'll deal with the ignorant assholes on the line and think they know what the hell they're talking about. Antarctica is losing its ice one way or another. We're killing it. Worse off is all the depleted funding to keep up research stations so they can continue their analysis of how fucked up we are, or how much of a clear sky they can see the whole cosmos and do their scientific environment, scientific analysis on that one. Or even certain stations out there are freezing their asses off left and right because they don't have the materials necessary, or the money, or the funding necessary to keep them going. To keep us not entertained, but educated. My God, it's a scary word. Education, 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 education. My God. If we happen to keep saying the word education, we might as well be educated to understand what the hell it means. Because unfortunately, the people we're dealing with on the chat columns, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't. Unless they've been there, done it, and they're talking about their expertise. And then we can tell bullshit in their face because we think we're better, because we're ignorant bastards. How does that grab you guys? Does it grab you by the nuts? Is it squeezing you enough? Or do you need a massage more? You're sick fuckers, you know that. That being said,